guys, Omar here. We're going to be doing another episode of Omar's Gear Review. Today I have the PXL Pro by Joyo. I got this thing in the mail about a couple weeks ago, put it on my board and I've been using it a bunch. Just wanted to show you guys some of the cool features about it. This is not going to be a tutorial on how to program this. There's really good videos out there already. I'll put one in the description below. It's pretty straightforward once you get used to it. We're going to be doing an overview, then I'm going to go through some of the cooler features, and then we're going to talk about some things that I'm not crazy about it, and eventually we're going to get to a demo. Let's jump right in. This is my guitar here. It goes to the input, through the pedal, to loop 2 out, and that goes to my amp. Each pedal is wired individually into the pedal. It has its own send and return. There's 8 send and returns for 8 pedals. So I've got my chorus, my boost, my rat, octaver, tube screamer, phaser, delay, and reverb in that order. What this pedal allows you to do is only add in the pedals that you want in your signal chain and cut out the other pedals. There's 8 banks of presets, and you scroll through them using the bank up and down, and then 4 presets per bank. So essentially this lets you, let's say we're on bank 2, preset A has the reverb, the delay, and the chorus. B has the delay and the chorus. If you want to bypass the pedal, you just click again on the preset that you're on, the lights start flashing, and that's how you know you're in bypass. If you want to mute the pedal, there's a mute switch. So if you hit it once, it's going to send your signal to the tuner, but it's not going to mute your guitar. You hit it again, it sends a signal to the tuner, and it mutes the guitar. I'm not sure if you can see, I've got the zip ties over it, but it has the lights to indicate, so you know. Once you have everything programmed, it's very easy and intuitive to use. One of the big selling features of this pedal is that it has 4 trigger outs. If you don't know what a trigger out is, sometimes on your amp you'll see a foot switch input, and you can also see that in some pedals. So what you would do is you plug in a 1/4 inch cable to one of the triggers here and plug it into the foot switch on that amp or pedal, and once engaged it'll change a parameter. A very common thing, and this is something that I have on my own amp, is the ability to change from the clean channel to the dirty channel. So you would program these triggers within a preset. Right now I'm on 7C. I don't have any triggers on. I'm using the fuzz and the reverb. If I go to 7D, I turn the fuzz off, I turn the boost on, and I've triggered my amp to go to the distorted channel. Another cool feature about this pedal is when you're in bypass mode, you can alter what triggers you're using. So right now I have the first trigger. If I had something plugged into the other triggers, in bypass mode, I just sent a signal to trigger number 4. That gives you basically a whole other preset in bypass mode. This pedal allows you to easily wire up your board to use the effects loop on your amp. If you don't have something like this, it can take a long time, but with these 3 outputs here, ins and outs, it's relatively easy. So you would go from your guitar to the input, the loop 1 out into your amp, the send from your guitar amp to the loop 2 in, then the loop 2 out going to the return. I'm just using the Radial Big Shot as an example just because it's got a send and return. Obviously it's not an amp, but you get the idea. The pedal will break up your board into 2 groups of 4. So in the first group here I've got the chorus, boost, fuzz, and octaver. In the second one I've got my overdrive, phase, delay, and reverb. I don't use this because I don't use the gain on my amp, and I also have the overdrive in the second group of 4 here, and I don't really want to have that in my effects loop. But it's a very handy thing to have, and it can save you a lot of time if you want to use the effects loop in your amp. Another cool thing that I don't think was intended with this pedal, but something cool that you can do, is using the mute here. If you engage it, you send your signal to the tuner, but instead of sending it to a tuner, you could send it to a clean amp. And then you can obviously toggle which output you want to use, just the tuner output, just the main output, or both together. I didn't think of this myself. I actually saw a video on it by, I think his name's HT Pie, so I'll put that in the description below. He does a demo of it. It's really cool, and definitely something I'm going to try out soon. Alright guys, here's some of the bad stuff that I'm not really crazy about. This has buffered ins and outs, which is great for me. Buffers kind of have a bad rep, but it can really, if used properly, maintain the clarity in your guitar sound. However, if you have a germanium transistor in a fuzz or drive pedal, they don't play well with buffers, and this effects loop switcher doesn't have the option to turn that off, whereas a lot of buffered pedals will allow you to turn that off. Definitely something to keep in mind if you've got a germanium fuzz. The second thing is the power supply is a DC 9 volt, but it pulls 500 milliamps, which is kind of crazy. I think most people are in my situation where they have either a one spot or a Voodoo Labs pedal power. If you wanted to power this, you would need to get a milliamps doubler and use two of the spots there. What I'm gonna end up doing is there's a courtesy plug here, just get a little extension and put that underneath. But that's definitely something to keep in mind when you're purchasing this. That's something you're gonna have to work around, and it also doesn't ship with its own wall wart. I'm using a separate one for that. Finally, this isn't really intended for jamming. It's great for live. Like I said, there's 8 banks. Normally when I play live, I play 8 songs, so that's a bank per song. But if you're jamming, you know, let's say you've got your drive and your reverb on, but in that bank you don't have drive, reverb, delay, and phaser, and you want to get to that, and you got to think of what preset that's in. So I guess the only solution for that would be to find a preset like this where everything's on, and then you would just go in and you would turn off all the pedals and turn them on as you need them. Again, that's not really the purpose of the pedal, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. Now I'm going to plug this thing in and I'll go through one of the banks with you guys. Alright guys, that's just about it. If you guys have any questions or comments, please put that in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks so much. Bye.